Sagittarius season. Thanks for tuning in to the Embodied Astrology podcast. I'm Renee Sills. I'm a consulting astrologer, embodiment educator, and the creator of Embodied Astrology. If you enjoy my readings, make sure to pre-order your 2025 Year Ahead Expanded Horoscope now. The Embodied Astrology yearly forecasts for each sign go in-depth with the most important transits, offering embodied suggestions for making the most of the opportunities and working skillfully with the challenges. A special treat for the 2025 readings will be sign-specific meditations that accompany your forecasts. You'll be able to use them throughout the year to increase and deepen your alignment with the upcoming year's transformative influences. You might also be interested in your 2024 annual reading, which still has lots of important information for the near and far future and prompts to reflect on the past. The 2024 readings are now discounted by 75%, and you can pre-order your 2025 readings or access this year's reading by clicking the link below. Embodied Astrology is much more than horoscopes and podcasts. It is actually a movement that is full of people who are interested in the ways that astrology can help us more deeply embody our earthly and universal intelligence. We offer ongoing classes, workshops, trainings, and community process spaces where we practice astrology as a language for living. We blend astrology with art, science, healing methodologies, and activist strategies. We hold space for ourselves and each other to expand and explore symbolism, mythology, and meaning. We queer, unpack, and evolve this ancient technology in service of our present needs and future potentials. If this sounds like something you've been looking for, or if my readings resonate for you and you want to take them to the next level, I hope you'll join us sometime. Stick around after your horoscope, and I'm going to tell you more about some of what we offer, how we work, and why I think Embodied Astrology is a great space for you too. If this work benefits you and you want to help me keep giving these monthly readings for free and help us keep all of our offerings available with financial accessibility and sliding scale, please take a moment right now to like, follow, and subscribe to our channels. This is the #1 way you can help us grow. This season's horoscopes are intuitive offerings for each sign of the zodiac. I hope that they serve and support you in some way. Listen for your sun, moon, and rising signs, and remember that not everything is for everyone, so take what works, leave the rest, and make the meaning that's most meaningful for you. Thank you so much for being here, and now, onto your horoscopes. Hello, Leos. Welcome to Sagittarius season. Sagittarius, like Leo, is a fire sign. And in the Leo solar charts, so this is definitely if you're a Leo rising, but if you are a Leo identified person, think about it this way for you too. In the Leo solar charts, Sagittarius holds the 5th place. And the 5th place is related to the 5th sign. Guess what the 5th sign is? That's right, it's Leo. So Sagittarius and Leo have a very special relationship. They are complementary in that they are both fire, but Sagittarius lives in a place of the Leo psyche that is very Leonine. And the 5th place is about your personal expression, your creative, generative energy. It's about your passions and your hobbies and what you do for fun. This is also a place of pure eros. And erotic energy is life energy. This is personal power. It can definitely be expressed through sensuality and romance and sex, but it can also get expressed through your creative expression, through your boldness and through your bravery. I will say that this is a place where erotic energy does want to have fun. And so romance is here. It's not necessarily about commitments, but it is about energy. It is about attraction and attention. And if there's a spark, then there are long-term potentials that are starting to emerge that really want you to pay attention to them. So let's get into the season from the beginning. Sagittarius season starts on the 21st of November, and we have a new moon in Sagittarius on December 30th. And between the beginning of the season and the new moon, Mercury is stationing retrograde in the sign Sagittarius on November 25th. Mercury's retrograde will span the entire season. It stations direct on December 15th, which is the day of the Gemini full moon. I'm going to get to that in a couple minutes. But for now, I'm going to say that the Sagittarius parts of your chart in your life are ready for the retrograde influence, and the retrograde influence is all about the RE prefix. So, rest. This is not a time to be moving forward thinking that you know exactly where you're going. If you have big ideas, this is a great time to enjoy those big ideas, to map them out, to vision board them, to fantasize about them. But this is not a time to assume that you know that you can get to the outcome that you're fantasizing, because what the retrograde is bringing is an opportunity to review and maybe to retrieve. There might be pieces of information or possibilities inside the ideas that you have not received yet. You might need to go back for something that you missed a couple of weeks ago. There might be just a process that's happening that is not ready to move forward and needs a little bit of let's say reflection or revision or renewal. You might need to reclaim something. So in the elements of your fifth house Sagittarius kind of experience, I feel that a lot of you are really wanting to see what's next. A lot of you are feeling potentially something bubbling up, and it feels like possibility, and it feels like adventure, and it feels like it could be optimistic, but also it's not grounded yet. It needs a different kind of time and pacing than what you've done before. And something has been shifting for you over the recent past, I'm going to say within the last year, where your awareness of how you collaborate with people and what that means for your future, and your awareness of the future itself and what that means for society, and your awareness of people in general and groups and group mindsets and how you might be interacting with people and with groups, that is changing. And so something about what is bubbling up right now that feels like a new possibility, it wants to travel into all those places. It wants to bring you into the future. It wants to initiate new kinds of collaborations. It wants to work intelligently within relationships, potentially in big ways, potentially in ways that will change your social landscapes or shift how you move through your networks and friend groups. But you need to take some time with it, because habits also run deep. And it's important that you are not doing things now in the ways that you have done them before that got you in trouble back then. It's important that you are checking in with your energy right now. And for fire signs, one of the most important things for us to check in with is actually our enthusiasm, because fire likes to burn, and fiery kinds of people can get an idea about something and then blaze about it and be so hot and so ready for it before we've actually given it any time to feel it out, to research it, to think about the pros and the cons, to look at where the problems and the pitfalls might be, or even just to check in with our own energy, like, is this what we want to do actually? So please take the season, please take this time to be with a process of something. And the process feels like creative gestation. It feels like a time when idea seeds want to start to take root and they need watering and tending, but we're not ready to pick them up yet. We're not ready to, prune them yet. We're just wondering if they're even going to sprout. Now, this is doubly important because Mars will also station retrograde in Leo on December 5th. So you have had Mars working with you and in your sign for the last several weeks. And a lot of you might have been feeling increased amounts of energy. So when we have Mars in our sign, typically we get energized, and energy can express itself through awakeness and alertness and literally having energy to do things. It can express itself through increased frustration, anger, and feelings of like combat and readiness for that. It can express itself through enthusiasm and optimism and like seeing what's great about something. And for some of us, it can express through inflammation, and it might be showing up in our lives in ways that are letting us know that things actually need to move in our bodies in new and different ways. So when we are working with the buildup to a Mars retrograde, oftentimes what happens is that we are feeling an increase in energy. And then as Mars stations retrograde, whatever has been moving forward kind of suddenly can come to a halt, or we might feel like, wait, where did that go? I'm not interested in it in the same way. This is totally wrong. It's not for me, or maybe that's happening for someone else. And so this is why I'm going to underscore the need for you to be patient and reflective. And Mars is going to be retrograde for a couple of months, and it is moving from Leo back into the sign Cancer. I'll talk to you more about that next month in your Capricorn season reading. Mars will station direct in Cancer on February 23rd, and it will come back into Leo in later April. But it doesn't finish its shadow phase. That means it doesn't get out of the degrees where it has been retrograding until the beginning of May. So what is starting to take shape in Sagittarius season is not a quick fix. It's not an immediate decision. It's not something for you to jump on and expect to be mobilizing with next month. This is a longer term kind of process for you, and it is a process that actually needs you to really take some time to get out of your head about it, to not be in your fantasies and ideas and possibility kind of body of like, oh, this is expansive, this is exciting, or this is what I need to do, this is how I'm being activated. This is a process that needs you to actually take it to a deeper level. And what that feels like to me is sleep on it, rest with it. It feels like bring it to your altar, bring it to your ancestors, do tarot readings about it, get astrology readings about it, be with a spiritual dimension of the questions, and definitely consider the long arc of time. Because what you are putting into action right now and over the course of the next several months actually has really long-term implications. As Mars is in its retrograde, it is opposing Pluto, and Pluto has just moved into your opposite sign, Aquarius. I'm going to be talking about this so much in your 2025 readings, so definitely get those readings if you want more. But I will say that the next 20 years of your life, you are wanting to do relationships really differently. And that means your one-on-one intimate relationships. That means your friends. That means your family. That means how you fight and how you come into conflict, maybe with people who you don't consider your friends or family, but for some reason you have to deal with them. It includes social networks and organizing and the world at large. Leos, you are really ready to pick up your power in a way that you never have before in your life up until now. There are some really profound shifts that are happening for you. And I think a lot of you can feel that, and you feel that coming, and you feel that energetic adjustment that's starting to happen. But this is a long transit, and so it's going to play out over decades. But as I said, some of what you are doing now is actually setting the stage for what will be happening over the next 20 years. Aquarius will be tenanted by Pluto until 2043. So this Mars opposition to Pluto, you really want to pay attention to it. The places that Mars rules in your chart have a lot to do with your home, with your family, how you stabilize, how you sense your belonging, how you want to connect with land and earth and your own life force and energy, as well as what you are on an adventure for. Life path, life purpose, guiding philosophies, principles, how you feel your energy is going to leave a lineage and be part of a longer legacy. Any ways that you might be in leadership or teaching or advising others, these are also really Mars influenced themes in your life. So if anything that I just said pings anything for you and you're like, yeah, that's an area that is transforming. That's an area that feels like I want to make change. That's an area where something is happening right now and I don't know what it is. Think about that and be patient with it. Now, Sagittarius season is a season that is feeding fire with fire. And so a lot of you are fired up and you want to get a move on. Get a move on with your sense of possibility. Get a move on with your creative visioning. Get a move on by researching and experimenting, but stay adaptable. Between now and next May, you need to hold space for a lot of change. You don't know how things are going to work out right now. And between now and next May, you have to take some time and take it in and sleep on it and rest with it and be in more of an internal reflective space about it. All right, so the second half of Sagittarius season, Mars stations retrograde and then Mercury stations direct on December 15th, which is the full moon in Gemini. Now, Venus is moving through Aquarius at this time. Mars has stationed retrograde on December 5th. There feels to me like there's a lot of like social energy around you. And whether or not you're out there socializing or you're just thinking about relationships or you're connecting with new people or you're connecting with people in new ways, I think that a lot of you feel excited. There is a sense of possibility opening up, but you don't yet know where it's going to go. Now, as we get towards the full moon on December 15th, this is a really powerful time for visioning with others and for tuning into the ways that you share resources. The resources that you share can include all kinds of things, obviously material resources and money, but also time, interests, attention, joint projects, shared concerns, the ways that you might connect with people over emotional content or caring for the world together. This is a powerful full moon for you to be tuning in with spaces of interconnection in ways that are emotionally available and present, and holding the question of what do we want to do about this? How do we want to be with this? What is this asking from us? And how can we grow what we have together? Or how can we transform what we've built together? And what are the next steps of this? Some of you may be in significant endings inside of your relationships. And so you're thinking about how do you transform and regenerate whatever has happened and bring it forwards into the unknown future. Some of you are working with long-term partners and partnerships, and you're thinking about what are your next steps. This is definitely a period of time when the issue of what you share wants to be brought forward and out in the open and on the table. So if you share material resources, if you share responsibilities, if you share concerns, if you share projects, look at where the overlap is. Look at where the entanglements and the enmeshments and the dependencies are. Consider what the needs are. Allow people to talk about their feelings about it. Don't be scared to get into taboo subjects. especially around shared resources and shared power. There's often so much that comes up for people that isn't a problem, that it's there, but the problem is that we don't always know how to talk about it. And sometimes when those issues come up, we treat them as if they are a problem, as if they are a threat. This is a period of time to be really brave in your conversations, to be tender, to be transparent, to be curious, and to really consider how what you share in all of the ways that things are being shared, and that includes awkwardness and discomfort and unknown and inequity. All of the things that you share are sites for potential learning and growth and change. And what has already transpired inside of relationships where there is shared terrain wants to grow into something else. And it might not be growing in ways that replicate the past. So as I said a moment ago, some of you are finishing relationships, and so you might not be growing together on the new path that's coming forward, but this may be a time when you can support each other to grow apart or to take different paths that are complementary. Conscious uncoupling, as the kids call it these days. This is also a really powerful time for you to tune in with the ways that you share energy with the more than human realms. And so inheritances and debts, legacies and lineages. What are you carrying from your ancestors? And that can include your biologic ancestors as well as the ancestors of your mind and your heart and your passions. And how might you also be creating now with the vision for who will come after you're already gone? What are the dedications and the commitments that you really want to infuse into your actions in the future? Use the now to reflect and to meditate with them. So ultimately, Sagittarius season is a really powerful time for you to grow your new vision. And remember that growth happens in spirals. It's not a direct trajectory upwards or outwards. In order to grow, we also sometimes have to contract. We have to review and redo. Failure is such an important part of growth. Letting go and relaxing and releasing is absolutely essential for us to grow. So take Sagittarius season as an invitation for contemplation, ideation, and imagination. And please practice patience while you're here. These big visions that are coming in for you now really need you to hold them and to hold them with care. The final thing I'm going to say about Sagittarius season is that everything that I have said in this horoscope may also have something to do with your children. And so if you are a person who has kids or who is somehow involved with younger people, the solar fifth house is the place of children. And so you might be dreaming with them. You might be dreaming for them. They might need you to take some time to really listen to their dreams, to their desires, to their visions for what is next, and to be in support of them, right? And so these themes of inheritance and legacy are also ways that you are a commitment to the future and ways that the future needs you to collaborate with it right now. Okay, Leo, I am wishing you all the best in Sagittarius season and beyond. I hope any or all of this feels supportive for you. Bye for now. Thanks for listening to your Sagittarius season reading. If this horoscope resonated for you, please show your support by liking, following, and subscribing, and by sharing this work with your friends and community. I also hope you'll consider working more deeply with us at Embodied Astrology. Because we time our classes, workshops, and events with current transits, we're always offering to the present moment, and we're usually right on time. Every month and throughout the seasons, we engage the creative, experimental, and experiential aspects of current astrology. And our work is always given with an ethos of generosity and accessibility. Our classes, workshops, and series are available with scholarship and sliding scale, and no one is turned away for lack of funds. We do rely on your support and presence to keep us going, though. So help us sustain and support our work by making a one-time or recurring donation, becoming a member, or signing up for one of our offerings. Our offerings this season are exciting, and I hope that you'll join me for some of them. Every Monday, I offer a class called Somatic Space, where we prepare ourselves to work with the astrology of the week ahead through gentle healing body practices, breathwork, meditation, and visualization. You can drop in once to try it out, or if you become a member, you'll also get access to the past class video archive and Tea Time, a monthly conversational space where we learn and share how astrology is moving through our lives and make great friends and build community in the process. Over the course of Sagittarius season, we're also offering a number of unique workshops that are times to help us meet this moment of change and transformation that Sagittarius season is bringing. On Sunday, December 1st, Embodied Astrology is honored to offer a new moon somatic grief ritual and ceremony of connection with ancestors, elements, and the earth, facilitated by Ekua Adisa. Ekua is a grief guide, death care worker, medicine person, medium, world shaper, and ritualist who will be joining our facilitator, Sherry Taylor, in her Embodied Astrology series exploring the femme and queer faces of Saturn, Salve e Coagula. Sherry will be joined again on the solstice, December 21st, for a year's end writing ritual co-led with Janata Petrus. This is an opportunity to reflect with the astrology and the personal and collective lessons of 2024 before we transition into a new calendar year. In between these two sessions with Sherry, you can also join Janata for December 15th's Full Moon Artistic Alchemy session, where you'll learn more about the Sagittarius-Gemini axis in your chart and practice tapping into this energetic polarity through prompts and personal reflections that guide support for living and expressing your courageous creativity throughout the seasons. Finally, on December 7th, the day that Neptune stations direct from its 6-month retrograde, please join us for the final session in the Nebula Lab series hosted by Gabs 404. Over the past 6 months, the Nebula Lab has been a place where we've been learning about Neptune's current transit in the last degrees of the zodiac through art, culture, media, embodiment, history, and technology. In this culminating session, Gabs is joined by Danny D'Amelia. Danny is an artist and educator working at the intersections of performance, visual art, radical pedagogy, and social, relational, ecological justice. Danny will guide us in an exploration of radical intimacy, unnumbing, and expanding our awareness of interrelatedness beyond the human realms. These are, of course, some of the qualities and conditions which we'll most need in the year ahead and the years to come, so I truly hope that you can join us. You can find more information about everything and everyone I just mentioned in the show notes or through the study section at embodiedastrology.com. If you can't make our live events, but you still want to participate, your registration always includes recording access. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for listening and engaging. I truly hope to see you in an Embodied Astrology space soon. Bye for now.